Yo, what's going on, man? Thank y'all for tuning in to another early morning DnL&x Fitness live stream show. Sorry, I'm trying to fix my microphone and talk at the same time. How's everybody doing today? Good morning. It is May 15th on a Friday, so hopefully everybody's having a good day today. Let's go. Yes, sir. I cannot hear that. I'll turn it up a little bit. Yes, sir. Hopefully everybody's having a good day like I am, or a good morning, I should say. I know if you're on the West Coast, it's like 7. East Coast is 10. Central is 9-ish. So hopefully everybody's having a good day and all that good stuff, man. Well, hopefully you're having a good day at work. Hopefully not having a bad day. Hopefully your spouse didn't piss you off when you woke up or whatever the case may be. Hopefully you're not vibrating at a low frequency, getting all angry about what's going on in the world and the country and with all the craziness going on, because that's what they want you to do. Don't be that, but if you're having a bad day, let Mr. Child break it down to you. Come on now.
Oh, you're having a bad day? Did you die?
I got shot.
But did you die?
And as long as you didn't die and you're still alive and you're still able to make something happen, do something good and positive in the world, give yourself a pat on the back, hug yourself, or go clap your spouse's cheeks and be grateful that you are here today and you can still make a change in your life by changing your perspective and being positive. Let's go. With that being said, we are multi-streaming on multiple different platforms. We are, I forgot to put this thing up on my screen. Bam, fixed it. There we go. If you made a comment, I couldn't see it, but I'll be able to see it now if you comment, because I had my comment thing turned off, but we are on now. Anyway, we're multi-streaming on multiple different platforms. So first off, we're on YouTube. If we're on YouTube, do me a favor. If you see me on YouTube, hit that like button that pops up on your screen. Just hit that thumbs up. It's greatly appreciated. Get the algorithm out. And we are also simultaneously streaming on other platforms as well. Twitch, Kick, Rumble, and Facebook. I believe so. Yes, Facebook. If you comment on Facebook, I probably can't see it. However, give your boy a follow on those other platforms. It's greatly appreciated. And if you want to contribute to today's show, here's a Cash App and a Venmo. Cash App, Daniel2888. Cash App, Danny Dash, no, wait, let me do it again. Cash App Daniel 2888. Venmo Danny Dash Daniel Dash 00 to contribute to today's shows. We're a one-man band stand doing our thing, but thank y'all so much for tuning in. And we have a fun show to do for you this morning, because yesterday your boy did a live stream and somehow I screwed up the entire live stream because I did something wrong to my sound and I can't figure it out. So I got to redo that live stream today after this one. Yeah, it's one of those situations. So I'm gonna have to redo yesterday's live stream today after this live stream. Yeah, we got to double up today. Hell, we might triple up if I feel like reading afterwards, because I am reading the Talmud and I'm getting closer to finishing that book, because I want to finish the Talmud and get into the next book that I'm going to read, because I like to read, because you dumbasses don't like to read, but that's okay. That's what I'm here for you dumb fucks who don't like to read, or hell, even listen to somebody read. I mean, Jesus, I ain't the best reader in the world, but I'm getting better. I am. Yes, sir. But today's show, what we're going to do today in today's show, get a little music playing in the background. That'll work. So today's show, what we're doing today in today's show is we're going to be reminiscing about the 1990s, man. Today's going to be just at least today's morning show. I figured the morning show, because I mean, I know everybody nowadays, you turn on your social media, you turn on your phone, you wake up, hit your alarm, and probably go right to your social media platform and start scrolling. And right off top, you probably see some camel toes, some moose knuckles, some nipples, or some girl spreading her coochie wide open for you to see. And if you don't see that, then you probably see something negative on social media, some gossip, some stressful, some economies crashing. I mean, just dating and relationships suck. Whatever the case may be. Or maybe you see somebody trying to hit you with a get rich quick scheme. Somebody trying to sell you something all the time. Like, hey, go down to my product and buy this, and I'll help you get rich in about 24 hours or 48 hours, or your money back guarantee. Or hey, got a secret to tell you, but if you click the link in the box below, I'll sell you the secret for $45. You know, it's just always something. Like, there's never nothing, just, you know. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not going to say reminiscing over the 90s is going to make any better, because it ain't. It's just going to remind us how much we got more technology, but like it just yeah, too much technology is not good, is what we're about to find out. You know, if you grew up in the 90s, not born in the 90s, if you grew up in the 90s and you have a childhood of the 90s, we finna take a trip down the good old memory lane, man. We finna take a trip today down the old lane of memories, down the old 1990s. I don't have the sound. Dang it. I need a harp. You know what? Why don't I get a harp right now? You know, screw it. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Let's just do it live. I'll get the harp sound right now. Let's see. Harp sound dreamy. Harp sound dream. We'll get it right now. Let's see. Is this a good harp dream sound?
You installed?
Nope, that's not. That's an ad. But we'll check it here in a minute. But we're gonna get the harp dream sound for today's show, just so we have it for today's show. But we are gonna do a reminiscing. We are gonna go down to 1990s, man, and go see back when life was different. Technology just started out. You know what I mean? You're gonna look when AOL was a thing. Dial up. Bike rides, ride down the street, you can't find your homies, you look over to somebody's house and you see 3 bikes that you recognize over there, like, that's where the squad is. The squad is right over there because you saw 3-4 bikes. That's where everybody was at. Landline phones, no cell phones. Be out the house at like 10, 11 in the morning. Don't come back till like 8, 9 o'clock at night, doing full shifts outside. Don't know what you're doing. Don't have no means of communication with your parents whatsoever. Maybe hop in and check on them. Just do a little landline phone call, check back in, you know, just all sorts of crazy stuff, you know what I mean? Just living a good old life. And then probably gonna see some gas prices, which is gonna be extra depressing. But whatever. But let me see this sound. Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's the one we need. That's the one we need, ladies and gentlemen. That's gonna be the one we need. And I'm gonna grab that one right now as we speak. So let's see. Let me go ahead and grab this real quick, and then we're gonna continue with today's show because we needs that right there. But ladies and gentlemen, we needs that. So let's go ahead and get this right here. And let me see, give it a few seconds. It's gonna check it and we'll be good to go. So with that being said, we're just gonna go ahead and just start moving on and getting down the line with this 90s reminiscing and have a good old time remembering the good old days of the good old times of past of growing up as a kid and just, you know, seeing what things used to be and how things used to be and how well we had it and how great things were. Because now America is being infiltrated by a different group of individuals or by a completely different religion, and that religion is fighting to take over. And like I always say, America is selling out Americans. So in due time, I would say in like 10-20 years for sure, America, in my humble opinion, probably will be taken over because the new religion of people are draining the government like crazy, and it is being allowed. And you know, as time goes on, it will be what it is, and you just got to understand how to move and not just sit around and wait until, you know, the shit hits you at your doorstep, and then you'll be screwed because, you know, at that time it'll be too late. But anyhow, let's go ahead and get on with this show. Let's go ahead and start this show right now. So let's go ahead. Let me pull this up. Where we at? Where's my stuff? I can't see it. Where is it? There it is. All right, so we're gonna start off with the first video here. Let's take a look at This Was America in 1995 is what they say. The economy was booming, a huge surge in job growth as internet became more popular. 90s nostalgia. So let's take a look at 1995 America. I don't know what city they're in, but you know, we're gonna find out. So let's go ahead and just take this trip down memory lane and take a look at good old 1995. Yeah, I got it. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and take a trip. Let's see. Here we go.
Welcome to 1995. Here's what America looks like 30 years ago. In 1995, America was on the rise. Gas was just $1.09 a gallon, and the economy was getting stronger after a short recession. The stock market was booming. Many families refinanced their homes at lower mortgage rates and felt more financially stable. You could rent a place for $550 and a $35,000 salary. That was more than enough back then. At night, families watched TV together, whether it was President Clinton or the O.J. Simpson trial. Blockbuster was the place to rent movies, and everyone knew the rule: be kind, rewind. The internet was just arriving in homes. AOL's "You've Got Mail" was the sound of the future. Windows 95 had just launched. Families gathered around to explore a whole new world on their computer. At the mall, the food court smelled like Cinnabon and Sparrow. The Gap and Radio Shack were still packed with shoppers. 1995 was a year of growth, change, and optimism, where technology, pop culture, and a strong economy defined the American experience. Was the sound of the future.
My goodness, do y'all remember that screen? Look at that screen right there. Do y'all remember that? Oh my goodness. Back when it was weird, when it felt weird to like type and ask a person a question and somebody on the other end would respond, and you're like, oh, somebody's talking to me. They're responding, and you gotta hold nobody. And look at the computer, bro. Look at this computer. Look at that computer. You remember having one of these? Look at this. I remember having one of these. Look at that. You have the floppy disk you would put in down here. Oh my goodness, look at all this here, bro. And I think they just turned their computer on by the looks of it. You know, your computer would look like this when you turn it on. It would like have, I forget what it would say, but it would start, you know, running that through everything, and it would fade out, then fade back in with Windows, whatever year you had. And every time you typed on, you hear chugga, 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 chugga. This is how I learned how to type. On this right here, we used to put a cardboard over our hands. I remember the teacher in class we would have to type with a cardboard box over our hand, and then we would type, and then, you know, sometimes you would try to cheat, but they'll catch you and be like, ah, don't do that, whatever. But then, you know, they hit us with a real challenge. They'd be like, all right, cool. Since some of y'all are still trying to peek and cheat, we got something for that ass. So what they would do is they would put the cardboard box that would cover the whole keyboard, and our hand would fit right inside underneath. So, you know, your fingers could only, you couldn't do this because the cardboard box would be over your hand, so you could only move your fingers. It was a good lesson. It was a good typing lesson to have. They would cut off the lights, and all you would see in the room is computer screens lit up, and then we're like, all right, now type. And you couldn't look down and cheat because now you couldn't see anything no more, because back then the keyboards, they didn't have lights on them. Nothing lit up. There were no lights on your keyboard. So if the lights turn off, it was pitch black. So you only know how to find your keyboard through the little bitty indentions that are on your pointer fingers for when you put your fingers on the keyboard. So, you know, if you know your keyboard, you know that the F and the J, they have indentions on them for a reason. So where you place the rest of your fingers. So FDSA, JKL, semicolon, where you would place your fingers. So when you find the indentions with your pointer fingers, you know where the rest of them go. But it was fun. It was fun exercises.
Well, You've Got Mail was the sound of the future. Windows 95 had just launched. Families gathered around to explore a whole new world on their computer. At the mall, the food court smelled like Cinnabon.
Oh man, just the mall food court, man. All this stuff, man. All that stuff was just good times, man. It was great back in those times. Oh, wow. The old 90s, man. You can't beat it. 90s was fantastic. 90s was a good time. Let's go ahead and check out another. We have Blockbuster in the 90s. Let's see about Blockbuster in the 90s. Here we go. Look at the Blockbuster pack. Oh, look at the case. Oh, those are VHSs in the boxes. Oh my goodness. Look at that. I think she's checking them, for one, to see if you brought the right thing back, and the two, to see if you rewinded them, because you could see on the tape thing, if it was all the way to the right, you didn't rewind it, and if it was all the way to the left, it was fully rewound. So you would want to rewind them before you gave them back for people to bring in. Sometimes, I mean, it just depends. And you know, when you're looking at this, if this is real, just know that the person recording this video, if anybody's watching, I want to give you a heads up. Whoever's recording this video, they are not recording with something like this. This is not what's happening. What's happening is they got a motherfucking camcorder in their hand that they're holding. It may be a one-hand one, but probably a two-hand one that they got in their hand, which is like super obvious that they are recording right now. So just a heads up on that. Wow. back when the movies was coming out. Home Alone 2, what? And you got the little screen that was back when you couldn't see celebrities unless they were on the screen or on the news. LA Story down here. I'm trying to read what these are, but I can't really read what they are. But that's just the blue. They had a great story feel too. You had the yellow on the walls and the blue on the ground and blue on the ceiling. It was, oh man, Blockbuster was legit. Blockbuster and Hollywood Video were two great spots, but Blockbuster was the winner. Cash is king.
There you go. There's a 213 late fee on your account.
Back when customer service actually meant something, when you went to a store and people genuinely were like legitimately trying to help you, you know, back when customer service was an actual thing, because nowadays it's not. But back in the day, it was a thing. Customer service was real deal. People would actually help you when you walked into the establishment.
Two over here. And your total is $852. Thanks a lot. The red ones due back tomorrow before midnight. Oh, sorry. Okay, have a great day. Have a good afternoon. Bye-bye. Limit to how many...
I can't remember what Blockbuster rentals were. I can't remember if they were just 1 day rentals or 3 day rentals or 3 or 5 day. I can't remember what they were. He just said that the red ones due back tomorrow. I think they had the red ones, which were due back the next day. So you would just have a movie night and then like another one. I think you had like 3 day rentals with the other ones or whatever. And the thing is, when you get the movie, the Blockbuster movie, you would, that's what you were doing when you got home. You were watching that movie or you were playing that video game or you were running that shit into the ground for those few days that you had those things. You genuinely appreciated the short length of time you had with whatever you rented from Blockbuster. If it was a game, you would play that game religiously for the next whatever days, 3 days, 4 days. And that's all you did. Movie wise, you get a movie that night, you were watching that movie. That's why you got the movie, to watch that movie that night. That was the whole purpose of going there, because that night you knew what you were doing and you appreciated having that thing for the short period of time and you actually utilized it and gave it back. Like, just think about it. I mean, it was just a different time, a different mindset then. And plus, at this time, gas was like $1, 99 cent, 95 cent, 99 cent, $1.05, $1.08 or something like that. So having to drive back to drop it off, $10 to fill up your tank type stuff. Like, it was just, oh my goodness. It was just a whole different ball game back then, man. Sheesh. All right. So we go up a little bit more in time. Should we go up to 1999? I think that's too high right now. Let's stay in the 90s. Somebody here did in the 1990s says candies that did not survive. Let's see some candies that didn't make it in the 90s. Let me see if I remember any of these. So let's check this out.
Didn't survive the 1990s.
Peanut Butter Twix, 1990s.
PB Max Bar, 1994.
Lifesavers Holes, 1990s.
Butterfinger BBs, 2000.
Ooh, those were so good. Butterfinger BBs, I don't know why those things went out of style. Those things were fantastic.
2006.
Hershey's Bar None, 1992.
I remember a commercial for those. Hershey's Bar None. I couldn't eat those. Those were wafers.
Dweeb's Candy, 2000s.
Cherry Clan Candy.
Those were good. I remember getting these at Halloween going trick-or-treating. These Cherry Clans, these were so good. I mean, nowadays the Cherry Sours are still good, but these Cherry Clans, these were bomb too.
1990s.
Blueberry Hubba Bubba, 1990s.
Hubba Bubba Bubble Gum. Jolly Rancher Sticks. I forgot about these. Jolly Rancher Sticks. Golly. We used to stick these in our drinks.
Jolly Rancher Sticks, 1990s.
Candy cigarettes, 1990.
Oh my goodness, candy cigarettes were so good. You would think you were smoking you always play around like you're smoking a cigarette as a kid, but you had a candy cigarette the entire time. That's great. Oh, those were good too. I like those.
Amazing Fruit, 1990s. M&M's Crispy, 2005.
I remember those. I wasn't too big of a fan of those. 2005. Okay, well, I thought we were in the 90s. What's going on?
Razzles Candy, 1990s. Watermelon Laffy Taffy, 1990s.
Those were good too. I remember these. These were good.
Wonka Bars, 2010.
Wacky Wafers, 1990s. Astro Pops, 2004. Altoid Sours, 2010.
Okay, I have to say the Altoid Sours, even though those aren't in the 90s, they say the 90s, but they over here screwing up. Those Altoid Sours, those were good.
Cream Savers, 2011. Hershey's Bar None, 1992.
Do you remember any other candy?
Okay, it seems like AI screwed up on that one. But they got some of them right, so I give the benefit of the other doubt for that one. Some of those were right. All right, so we're at what year are we in? Let's keep going. Let's see. Jesus. These next two are going to be painful to watch. Let's see what we got next. We got Payless. Shopping at Payless in 1996. Somebody says, wait till you hear the price. Let's see what it was like shopping in Payless back in 1996. Let's check this out.
I was just saying, you know. Do they even got black here?
You gonna buy those?
She is for her homecoming.
So it isn't affecting us.
Let's see what you can up here.
8.5, right? On left.
Yeah.
And the nylons?
The sound of the cash register. I forget how that sounds until you hear it again and you realize like you don't hear these sounds anymore.
Taking a picture of my money on you?
Cash register sound. $14 for a pair of shoes for homecoming.
You got people like what, 6 cents? Just about $1.
20.
$1.
30 cents right here for it. $6 your change. Will you see that? Come on, have a good night.
I wonder how much of this is potentially AI or if this is real footage.
Take advantage of the half price sale. Buy one item, get one at half price. So one pair?
She's sitting on $10, $15.
Good night. Love you again.
Yeah, AI gonna be a problem when people go down memory lane and never get out of their memories. You know what I mean? You'll be stuck in your memories when AI gets popped. If all this is AI, because I just don't see nobody with a camera recording people like this all the time. But maybe they did and they still got the footage. I don't know. But AI, if this is AI and it's able to recreate times like this, like boy, people are gonna be depressed, boy. They never gonna be able to get out of their memories. It's gonna suck. Oh man, that's crazy. Hearing the way the cash register sounded, all those different things, like all this stuff. But let's see. So you wake up and it's December 1996. Let's see what December 96 looked like compared to the crap we see today. Here, we'll just depend on where you're at. Here we go. Let's see. Yeah, Yeah, the mall used to be decked out, man. They used to go all out at the mall and deck the mall out and have the whole theme doing its thing. All this stuff would be on point, man. All of this stuff would be decked out. Have Christmas things everywhere. This is the time and effort that they put to bring the Christmas spirit or the holiday spirit through. It used to be, you know, you would get that feeling everywhere, but now it's not going to be that way anymore. It's just granted because of, you know, religions are changing and regimes are changing and communism is hitting the scene and all this stuff. And that's like where we're headed at this point, as you can see, like everything changes. So, but what it used to be, but let's keep going. 90s nostalgia we got here. It says, don't stress, it's the 1990s. So what we got not to stress about? Let's check this out. Let's see what we got here. This looks like this ground makes me remind me of like an arcade place. Remember Doc and Lottie's was a place that I used to play at back in my day. Doc and Lottie's or Tilts or Quarters inside the mall. If you had places like that, those are places that I remember. But, you know, let's keep going. Okay, so they're just showing us pictures and playing a song. All right, so it's the movie theater. Have you had your fun today? What we got? Game Boy Advance, or is that just Game Boy? Is the regular Game Boy? Yeah, don't Matrix with stereo sound. Nintendo. Oh man, when the Super Nintendo was coming out, I remember this, playing Donkey Kong or Mario. And then that right there, that Nintendo 64 Mario, that one changed the game. McDonald's did used to have Nintendo 64s. Oh, wow. Back when McDonald's used to have Nintendo 64s and you had the playground in the back. I don't remember. And they used to do themes of like movies and stuff coming out. McDonald's had themes of movies and things coming out. Grimace and all that. Man, Jesus. Burger King did the same thing too. Burger King used to have a little play thing and he used to have themes changing and things like that as well. Yeah, I remember when Mr. Freeze, remember like certain movies that came out. I remember Mr. Freeze, the Batman with Mr. Freeze.
1998 at Irving Mall.
Hold on. I remember whenever Batman with Mr. Freeze came out, Arnold Schwarzenegger, you know, remember? All right, everybody chill. And he froze everybody. Remember when that movie came out, it was a big ordeal because, you know, it was like Burger King was running specials about it. McDonald's did too. I got a freaking fly around here somewhere. I gotta kill him. But like fast food joints or certain fast food chains, I ain't gonna say all, maybe like one or two of them, they would do themes for these movies that was coming out. And remember when McDonald's used to play Monopoly and you could get a large drink and you would go to McDonald's just to get a large drink, just so you can peel off the 2 stickers in the back and maybe you would win like a free order of fries and a burger or something, or you would win something with just, you know, peeling off something off the back of your drink. Man, I remember those. That was fun. The Monopoly game when you used to play that on the back of your McDonald's cups. Now, no more though. They like, nah, we need all that money. Screw you bastards. But anyway, let's keep going.
And this
So this guy's going to spend $20,000 in 1 hour in 1998. That's what's going on. He's going to spend $20,000 in 1998 in 1 hour. Let's see what he gets with 20 grand and see how he spends it. Let's see how this goes.
98 at Irving Mall, and this guy, Robert Piper from Haltom City, just won a wild challenge from Mix 102.9 to spend $20,000 in 1 hour. And he didn't come to play. Man already had a plan mapped out like a mission. First stop, jewelry store. Boom, 2 diamond rings over 4K just like that. Next stop, more jewelry. Another $2,300 gone. He's buying for family, thinking ahead. Christmas shopping done in minutes. 9 minutes in, he's already on store number 3. Now he's grabbing 6 cell phones. Yeah, back when those were a big deal. And a camera. Another couple thousand, easy. Then he hits the GameStop, loading up on PlayStations and Nintendo 64s like it's nothing. Kids in 98 would have lost their minds. 15 minutes in, he's already burned through almost $10,000. Now he goes big.
15 minutes in, he blew through 10 grand. He bought jewelry, PlayStations, Nintendo 64s, cameras, and cell phones. And he just hit 10 grand. What with that? I mean, and it depends on the jewelry too. Depends on what jewelry he bought. So, but just with that. But then we got to see with the other 10 grand, what else he's locked up on. So let's see.
Electronics. We're talking 2 computers, VCRs, a camcorder, a big 27-inch TV, even a satellite dish. Over $9K in one stop. At this point, he's basically speedrunning the entire mall. He's got about 30 minutes left and a few $100, so now it's shoes, CDs, jeans, just grabbing whatever he can before time runs out. When it's all said and done, dude has $11.25 left. And
he had a few $100 left and he splurged on shoes, jeans.
When
Look
it's
how
all
many
said and
jeans he had in his hand.
runs out.
Think about this. Look right here.
When it's all
Look
said,
how many pairs of jeans he had in his hand. With a few $100, he was going with jeans, shoes, and I forget what else they said, but with a few $100, he was able to buy a lot of clothes.
and done, dude has $11.25 left, and a mountain of stuff he'll probably be setting up until the year 2000. Honestly, imagine walking through the mall and seeing somebody just casually living out every 90s kid's dream.
Sheesh, look, he has a boombox radio, or I guess you call it boombox, but a stereo. Probably had the CD at the top, tape cassette at the bottom, and the speakers on each side connected with wires, so you can. I remember back when I had my radio. Oh my God, my Iowa sound system that I had. Let me see if I can find it. Oh my God, my Iowa sound system, one of the best at home sound systems I think I had in my life. Let's see, Iowa. CD player. Let me see if I can find it. Let me show you this thing that I had, not the portable. I gotta show you this thing, man, because it was my baby, and the way I was able to jerry rig it up was the best. Oh my goodness, I gotta show you this. Let me see, Iowa CD player. Let me see if I can find it, which it shouldn't be hard to find. But this thing here, man, was the best thing one of the greatest gifts ever. Oh, is this it? I think I found it. Oh, I found it. I got to see if I can show you the speakers, though. The speakers got to be next to it because they're only showing me the front thing. Oh, my gosh. Wow. Take you down memory lane. Let me see. Let me see if I can find it showing the speakers, because mine had 5 speakers. I remember mine. It had 5 speakers that came with it. It had like the 2 side speakers, the 2 surround sounds, and 1 like mini sound, what you would call nowadays a mini sound bar type speaker across the middle. I want to see if I could find it. Mine had all 5 speakers that came with it. And man, that thing rocked. Oh my goodness. I see it here. I just got to find the right one that had all 5 speakers. Let me see. Iowa, let's see, portable music player. Let me see if I should call it that. Iowa portable, let's see, portable music player, 5 speakers. Come on, let me see, is this it? Oh, it's close, but not quite. Is this it? This one's freaking close, but it's not quite it, but it's damn close. $500 still for that? Here it is. Found it. This is the exact one I had. Oh my gosh. I can't believe I found this shit. Wow. Oh my goodness. Music, please. Oh my goodness. I can't believe I found this. This is what I had when I was a kid in my room. Look at this. Oh my goodness. Okay, so man. Okay, so I had this in my room. It's a 3 CD changer up here. You had the 2 tape cassettes down here. You could plug in headphones or a microphone if you wanted to. Volume knob. This was your disc changer. If you put 3 CDs in, and you can change from CD 1, 2, and 3 right here. I still remember this shit. And then over here, you would turn this knob, and I think you would change between different EQs like rock, pop, classic, jazz, different styles. I believe that was it, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember that part all the way. But so what I did in my bedroom, right? I have this right here, and I would, you know, these and these were all connected with wires. You know, you had the red and black wires, you twist it and you put it in the back, clamp it, if you remember what I'm talking about. All right, so these had all these to it. These subwoofer speakers, you know, you had your left and right down here. This would be your bass speakers or whatever, your subwoofer types with the tweeters on top. All right, oh crap. Oh no, what did I do? There it goes. So you would have the subwoofers with the tweeters on top. I took these surround sound speakers. They had little bitty I don't know how to explain it. Basically like holes in the back where you can hang it up on a wall. So what I did was I get like a thumbtack or a nail, and I hung these up in my room in certain areas of the wall. So I had my sub speakers somewhere that I would take the long, and these had long wires. These surround sound speakers had long wires, so they were meant for you to put them somewhere far. So I would hang them up and like above it, like height level would be above the door frame and between the ceiling. That would be the height I had it in. So the measurement would be above my door frame or below the ceiling. So the middle between that part right there, I put each one somewhere either diagonal or across from each other, depending on how it's set up. And then this one I would just leave on top of the stereo like it is now. And depending on what EQ you used, it would either only play 4 of the speakers and not this one, or it play all 5, but different EQs, which one of my favorite EQs was Hall, because the way it produced sound was it would have, oh my gosh, this thing was so amazing. I can't explain this. All right, so one of my favorite EQs is called Hall, because with Hall, the sound that would come out of the surround sound, it would emphasize chorus vocals. It would emphasize I don't know how to explain it. You just have to hear it, because it emphasized certain effects in songs. It would emphasize chorus vocals. It would emphasize maybe ad-libs. It would emphasize certain sounds, so you would get this, oh my goodness, I can't explain it. And then you had like a full sound where all 5 speakers would play, but it didn't, but the surround sounds didn't come out of the speakers the same way. Oh man, this stereo meant so much to me. And then since these were wires, right? So in the back of let me see if I can show you the back. I can't show you the back. There's no picture of the back of this, is it? No. Wait, hold on. Maybe there is. Is there no, they don't have a picture of the back. If I could show you the back, I would. All right, so in the back of this, right? If you were to turn this thing around and show you the back, they twisted with wires, right? So back then, car speakers, if you had, if you know anything about car speakers, if you had some 10s, some 12s, some 15s or whatever, car speakers were the same way. You could just twist the wire speakers. They would just be thicker gauges, but still, you could still do the same thing. Didn't change. Now with this, how many watts was this thing? T-Bass, I can't remember because they don't even have the thing on here anymore. Let me see if it says it. 1-bit dual DA converter, disc changer, rotatory. It doesn't tell you how much bass or how much watts this thing pushes out. It doesn't say it on here, does it? No. See, look, here's your EQ: pop, rock, classic. You had your clock, timer, enter, eco, open, disc changer. You had tape, tuner, video, and aux if you wanted to connect your TV to it. All this anyway. So let me go back. So if you know anything about car speakers, 10s, 12s, 15s, whatever, you had the same kind of wires where you would twist them together. So what I did was this. I had bought some 10s, some car audio bond 10-inch speakers from my brother's friend at the time, and he had these audio bond 10-inch speakers. And what I did was I just took some speaker wires that you would take from a car, and I twisted and connected these the same way as these were connected to this unit right here. So for the right bass speaker, I connected the wires to, I had twisted the wires together for these speakers, and then for the left bass speaker or the left woofer or whatever, I twisted the left speaker to this left speaker right here. So now I had two 10s. So then what I ended up doing, this is how it ended up turning out. These were my subwoofers with the tweeters, and then these were your like a high or surround sound speakers or whatever, and your mid speaker. Well, what I ended up doing was when I added my own 10-inch car speakers, I had subwoofers, which were my 10-inch audio bonds. You know what? Let me see if I can find it. Subwoofers were my 10-inch audio bonds. These turned into my mids, and then these were my highs. It just, you know, it just completely like separated everything, and it used to bang, boy. My parents were amazing now that I think about that. Because like the noise we used to make in that house was ridiculous. Let me show you what I had it connected to. If I can find it. 10-inch audio bond speakers. Let me see if I can find it. Audio bond. It came up. 10-inch audio bonds. Let me see if I could find it. They're not going to be the exact same thing, but you'll get the idea of what mine look like. This shouldn't be hard to find. Where are we at? Oh my God, I found it. What? Okay. What? How am I finding all this stuff? All right. So this is what I had, except this is 3. Mine was only 2. Just cut off this third one right here. All right, so this is the speakers I had, these audio bonds. This is exactly what I had, except cut off this third speaker. Just cut this one off, get rid of this one. I had these two audio bond speakers. So I had these two connected to this stereo system. So I had my subwoofers right here, and then these were my mids, and then these turned into my highs. And boy, that shit used to beat. If I could ever find this stereo system again and find a way to connect it to a TV, because it shows right here, you got video and aux, and if you could find a way to connect this to a TV, I would do it. Like I would literally make this my sound bar. You know what I mean? Like I could turn, I believe you could turn this whole thing to a sound bar and make this your sound bar for your TV. Bro, this will be the greatest thing you could ever do. Like this thing was amazing. I would so buy this again because I still got these speakers till this day. I still got these 10s. Golly, that's crazy. Fucking nostalgia. Taking a trip down memory lane. All right, I got to continue with the show because I'm about to, good Lord, distractions. All right, we just saw the man spend $20,000 and this is everything that he bought. Man, that's crazy. This is everything that he bought, if you can see it. I don't know if I can zoom in on it. No, it won't let me. But if you could, oh, there it goes. This is what he bought. Bro bought JVCs. I don't know what these are. I can't tell what these exactly are. JVC, I don't know. But you should see he bought a bunch of stuff with $20,000. He went through and went crazy and had a good old time. So shout out to him. All right, let's go on to the next one. Let's see what we got up here next. All right, these are kids talking.
Wait.
No, we're not waiting. All right, so here, we're gonna go to 1999. Let's see what 1999 looked like. We're still in the 90s, so it still counts. So let's check out what 1999 looked like. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit more so it look better. Here we go. Gas. I gotta pause the music. I can't let the music play. Let me find the sound. Let me pause the music. All right, let's continue. Here we go. All right, so life was like in 1999. Oh boy, what is this? 27 years ago now, 1999. Yep. Walking over to a friend's house, about to go all hang out and chill. People still would jump. Was this 1999 outfit? This probably was like some. Oh, you got the thing down here. The big wheel. Do kids still ride big wheels? Yep. No cell phones around. So everything you did, you had to be chilling and you had to be, you know, in it. You had to be focused. Pizza Hut, when they had the hat roof. Girls back in the day, the way they dressed. See, everything you did, you had to be in the moment. Everything would require you to be in the moment. There was nothing that was taking you out of the moment. Texaco, McDonald's, how much is gas? They're gonna show us to make us feel bad. $1.21, $1.23. That was gas. Still got the gas stoves. I would still run a gas stove till this day. You get that flame and you cook better. Look at that TV. Look at that TV. That was the TV that was for the living room. Some people had bigger TVs than this. This TV is small, but yeah, living rooms were different. Bigger furniture, heavy, durable furniture that required more than one person to carry. Hell, more than two people to carry. It should be heavy. The New Year's countdown. Oh my goodness, I remember this New Year's. Every year my parents would go out and have a New Year's Eve party and leave us at home. And I was just all scared as shit because I thought the Y2K was going to turn all the lights off, and they kept playing Prince over and over and over and over. All you heard on the radio or TV, all you saw on VH1 and MTV this year, all you saw was "Into never gonna party like it's 1999." It's all you heard. Fucking 80s song kept playing over and over and over and over and over and over and over. It was like, good Lord, I'm scared shitless, thinking Y2K is gonna happen, trying to figure out why nobody else cares but me. Countdown comes, I'm like, no. But you know, nothing ended up happening. I was just scared. Yeah, okay, so it started over. Yeah, but see, you see a lot of 99-cent things. You would see 99 cent a lot. You would see 99 cents a lot of places. Candy's 99 cents. Just, you would always see stuff that was 99 cent. That was a norm. That was a norm. Not no more. We got another one here. It says, you woke up in 1998 and life has the right amount of technology. Let's see the technology that we got for 1998. Let me see. Let me pause this music real quick and let's see what we got. Here we go. I don't know what song this is. This is a perfect song.
Now if he wants to hunt me and kill me, okay?
Why you?
Why me? I don't know. Everything about me he finds offensive. You think it'd be a waste of his time.
You hear ooh, 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 that sound, boy. You hear that sound outside. That was like a norm. That was a norm. There was a norm. We have another one here. It says there was a moment before everything changed. Let's see what that moment was and let's see how they proceed this or how they put this together. Here we go. Summer evenings felt endless and nobody was rushing anywhere. That's true. We didn't know that those were the last slow years. Yeah, and the lights came on and something felt different. Somewhere along the way, everything got louder. This man, evenings got quieter before we knew why. And one day the silence disappeared. But somehow we still remember how it felt. Some nights never really left us. That's true. That is true. Some nights will never leave you. How simple things were, how of a different time it was. Oh, look, Jax is in the background. Look at him back there. You good? You comfy? Huh, Jax? Jax. Oh, he's looking right at me. Let's see if I can. Let's see. There he is. Look at him staring right at me. He's like, what are you doing? I should tell you to get down, huh? I should tell you that, huh? Oh, big head self. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's continue on to the next thing. All right, so we have, you grew up in the 90s. Let's see what happens when you grew up in the 90s. Let's take a look at what they're going to show us from a kid's perspective. Here we go. Toys R Us, Furbies, the Ocarina of Time, Zelda. when a TV that big was enough. Back when the TV this big was enough. If you had a TV this big, that was enough for your room. You were good because you had some of them had the TV VCR combo. If you remember those TVs that had the combo VCR with it. This is crazy. Look at this. The McDonald's did have those are coffees. Toys R Us. Oh, that was such a great toy store. Furbies. When a house like this was everything. Look at Ocarina of Time with the 64 and the games right there. This is all you needed right here, bro. Living room TV was this big, and that was a big enough TV for everything. Unless you were, unless you had big screen TV, then you were chilling. But still, this TV was fantastic. You were good. You didn't need much. You were just chilling. You were just like lounging. Oh my goodness. Oh wow. 55378008. If you know that number, 55378008. You had a calculator, you type that in and then turn it upside down and read it. Oh my goodness. All right, let's go. What we got next? We have what do we got next? What do we have? Okay, we're gonna have a bunch of kids complaining here pretty soon. Let's see. Growing up in the 90s says, can we go back to the 90s? Let's see what we had growing up in the 90s. Let's see what this is talking about. First of all, this is a phone book. For those who are not familiar with what this object is with this person's hand, this is a phone book. You look in alphabetical order, you will find numbers of all businesses and companies that were registered in the phone book. A payphone. Wow. PlayStation. Oh, look at that. Oh my goodness. Netflix really destroyed Blockbuster, man. Jesus. 120. I remember when numbers hit 125, boy, people were shitting a brick. People were shitting a brick when the gas went to 125. We're like, what? 125? Golly. And then one day we went to sleep, gas was 220. The next day we woke up, gas was 360. And everybody was just like, oh man, what do we do? And just kept going along, kept plugging along. Okay, for people who don't understand what you just saw, can I rewind it? No. This gas pump, you could take it off, hit the lever. It was like a metal lever at the bottom. You hit it up and it would activate the gas pump and you would pump your gas first. You could get out your car and pump your gas. After you pumped your gas, you could then walk into the store and go pay for your gas after you pumped it already. This is the trust between businesses and people back then. You know what I mean? Like you could pump your, you could fill your gas up first, then go and pay for your gas afterwards back then. Yeah, man, that's crazy. You'd be able to fill your gas up first, and then you could, pump your gas afterwards. Let me see if we can show you that gas tank again. Yep. Yes, sir. There it is right there. And he had a clip. Let me see if he show you. There's a nozzle. Oh, you can't see it, but there was a clip right there where you just pull that lever up and flip it up and you would be able to pump your gas first. And then you could go and pay for it. So you didn't have to worry about paying for gas first. Everything was pay, then pump. Everything was you could pump first, then you would walk inside and go pay afterwards. Cause it was like, well, why would I walk inside the store and then walk back out the store? I could just get out, pump my gas, walk in, then pay and get my car and leave. But now it's get out your car, walk, go pay, come back. I mean, it was like do the closer thing first. But gas got more expensive, economy got tighter, so people started doing gas runs. So there was that. You know what I mean? And that just made sense why things turned out the way they are now. All right, let's see. We got a bunch of kids here. Let's see if I want to ended up on the kids. Let's see. All right. Let me see. I got a couple more. Let me just double check before we wrap this up. Oh my goodness. All right. Let's see. Okay, here we go. We'll look at this. Somebody said this was my DM in the early 2000s. Okay, a little bit out the 90s, but early 2000s. I do have to show this one because this is what a DM looked like in the early 2000s, which this also translate over to the 90s as well. So this is what a DM looked like in the 90s and in the early 2000s. Check it out. This was a DM back then. Here it is right here. Can I play the music? No, I can't play the music. That's a song. But this was a DM or whatever. This is all handwritten, by the way. You be creative with it. I remember writing these, having to write these in between classes. You know, you would put to, from, maybe you want to put date and time. You could put the class you was in if you wanted to, whatever. If you wanted to have a song that the person was thinking about while you were writing the note, which was fun. And then here it was. Then they started writing the note. What's good, boo? I was. And then they would write their note. Now, when you write the notes, you would also have another level of creativity after you wrote your note, whether it was to your homeboy or maybe from me, mainly it was a bunch of girls who write notes to. And you write these notes. And whatever it is that y'all were talking about, whatever between girl and boy, you know what I mean? You would write notes and, you know, it'd be a way of flirting and communicating. Maybe y'all about to start dating or hooking up, whatever the case may be. You write these notes and everything was about creativity, but you didn't think about that. It was just second nature at this point. You know, to, from, maybe if you want to put date and time, that's up to you. You could do this. This wasn't always the norm you would do, but you could do these things. You can like put the song you have the person thinking of in their head or whatever, if you wanted to write that on there. But whenever you were done writing the note, right? You write the note. Next thing that you did to add a layer of creativity to it was the way you folded the note, because you had to pass the note off, because you always wanted to be inconspicuous when you passed off a love letter or a letter to anybody, because you didn't want people in your business. You didn't want people to know that, oh, dang, you and such write notes to each other. That meant something. So you would have to fold the note a creative, particular way. And, you know, then when you get the note and you unravel the note, you would realize the thought that the person put into the note because of the way you had to unravel it. You know, sometimes it'd be quick, or sometimes you would, if you were really good, you would fold it into like a little box where it had like, you know, the box and it would cover in like a pocket. Some people know how to fold into hearts. Some people know how to just, you know, you just do your regular 4-crease fold or whatever, which wasn't very thoughtful. But each fold that you folded the notes in kind of gave a idea of like the amount of care the person put into it. And then if you went home and you wrote, and like, let's say you wrote the note and then you handed them the note on the last period of the day, right? So that means that they can't write you back because school's going to be over by the time next period comes. And you always have to write these notes in class before, you know, class ended. So you had to learn the lesson, math, English, history, social studies, science, chemistry, whatever you have to learn it, but you also have to find time to write this person a note and then write them a whole note and then fold it and then get it back to them. Now, if it was the last period of the day, you got the note last and you couldn't write them a note because it was the end of the day, that means that it's your turn to return the note the next day. So you would go home and write a note. And to be more creative, it just made more sense that your note was folded nicely, because if you're talking to a girl, you know, it's just like a form of presentation and creativity and thoughtfulness that was behind it. You fold the note and you spray like a girl, or spray her perfume, or you spray cologne on it. So when you hand it to her, smell yes. Oh man, the level of creativity and thoughtfulness behind these little love notes that we would write as kids. Like, look at this. This could be what, junior high, 6th grade, junior high, 7th, 8th grade, and then all the way up through high school. But for sure, notes, and for me, were big in 7th and 8th grade. I don't know what the hell it was in those 2 years, but 7th and 8th grade, these love notes, was writing these like crazy. Like, man. Oh my goodness, writing these like crazy. These notes here were fantastic. Just the creativity that you had to put behind these, and just the the thought that came with it, and just, oh man. You won't know unless you be, because nowadays you don't do this anymore. Your handwriting actually played a part in it. Some people's handwriting was so good you had to try to decipher on how to read it if they wrote in cursive, if they wrote in print. So your handwriting had to be good. You know, you had to actually try to write back in a timely manner. And if you didn't write back in a timely manner, it seemed like you didn't really care about who you were, who you were engaging with. So you would make time inside of a class period. And sometimes you would have to let the person know, like, hey, I'm finna be in Miss such and such class. Like, she don't play that shit, so I'm not gonna be able to find time to write you, but give me a minute. Maybe you'll write it at lunch or something, but you didn't want people to know who you're writing, so you got to keep it inconspicuous. And you would fold them up in a nice little cute way, romantic way or whatever. But your folding meant creativity and thoughtfulness into the message. If it was urgent, you get you get the old hot dog hamburger until it was a small piece, and just be like, here. If it was that you and that person were talking or trying to get to know each other or transpiring or something, the folds would become more intricate and nice, and then you would try to find ways to get it to them without people seeing. You gotta be like nice and sneaky and low key and stuff like that, or like slide it in their locker, so when they open the locker it fall out their locker. Oh my goodness. Oh man, I miss doing these. I ain't gonna lie. Writing these little flirty love letters to girls, that shit was fun. That was so much fun. Writing flirty love letters to girls was fun. I think text messaging, it killed that art completely. If you grew up writing these love letters, you understand what I mean, as opposed to text messages, because text messages are urgent. It's like now, like, oh, they seen it. Oh, they seen it. Now they got to respond in a timely fashion. I'm like, fuck all that. That's why men don't like. That's why men nowadays, like, if you're a man, you're like, you don't give a shit what a bitch thinks. It's like, whatever. But like love letters back then, little fun little kid, little teenager love letters back then, like, you take your time. You probably have a song playing. If you had to go home and be the one to respond, and you had to respond by writing the note back because you got the last period of night. If you got the note the last period of the day, you had to respond the next day. Oh, you probably cut on some music, sit down somewhere, write what you was writing, thinking about. You know what I mean? It's like you got a whole ambient, a whole mood about what you're thinking about this person while you write this note. How you go fold it, what you go spray on it so she can smell it when she open it. It was so much fun. Oh my goodness, it was so much fun back then doing these things. Just like the art of flirting with love letters was fun. I enjoyed that for sure. It was so much fun. The art of flirting with little letters and the creativity and thoughtfulness it took to put into these things was great. And yes, I like how they put song, and then they put the song right here. Like it lets you know what their mind frame was in while they were writing this note to you, which is good. And sometimes you'll put the place and period. All this stuff is good, man. Yes. Oh my goodness. The times have changed, brother, because now the art of flirting is there ain't no flirting. Yeah, there ain't no flirting. Shout out to feminism for ruining that. And technology and feminism ruined that. But anyway, let's keep going. 90s relationships before cell phones. Let's see what these people have in the 90s relationships before cell phones. Here we go.
The thing about Generation X is, like, when we were younger and you called someone's house, you like had to speak to their parents. Their parents were going to pick up the phone and, hello, Mr. So-and-so, is so-and-so there, right? And even sometimes you like build a rapport with the parents just by calling, and, they're picking up the phone so much. Like, oh, so-and-so isn't here, and call back this time, or whatever the case may be. Or, what are you guys planning to do today? Oh, we're going to the mall, or whatever. You kind of build a rapport with the parents, right? And definitely if you were talking to someone, like if you're romantically interested in a female, whatever the case may be, you had to speak to the parents. They were going to pick up the phone. So the parents right away knew friends, romantic interests, and so on, because they would question them like, yo, who is this person? Where do you know this person from? Do they go to your school? You know, things of that nature. Like, as time went on, a lot of people started to get their own personal line.
Okay, before he goes down that, he's right on this. That is so true. That is a fact. Man, look at this phone. Look at this. We all had this landline phone. Maybe yours wasn't pink because this is more of a girl style phone, but everybody had one of these kind of phones that was more like could be more of a boyish color. When the phone ring, it light up and all this stuff. But what he's saying is so true. You did build a rapport, because if you and a girl were talking, that means that you call the house or whatever, you and a girl were talking, whatever, the girl called your house, you called a girl house. True, landline phones, you don't know who's going to pick up. It could be a mama, it could be a daddy, it could be her brother, it could be her sister. Somebody in the family is going to pick up. And if y'all two are talking, y'all two are calling each other frequently. So people are going to start to realize, like, oh, Daniel must be, you know, Daniel and such must be interested in each other. Because then you can tell, you know, you can tell when another, hey, daddy, what, you know what I mean? Brittany on the phone. It's like, oh, yeah. Okay. Hello? Hey, mama. You can hang up. Hang up. My mama, hang up. All right, bet. All right. Hey, what's going on? Hello? Like, you built a rapport, so you understood who was a friend that called, who was a romantic interest, that all this stuff. And yes, the parents could see this, they could understand this, so you couldn't bypass the family. In other words, the family couldn't get bypassed, which was so true. You could not bypass the family. You would get to know who was who, you know. You would figure out who it was. Sometimes, you know, if you call somebody who had a brother and the brother was on the phone caking to another female, and then call back later, try to punk you over the phone, like, cause you calling his sister, so he tried to cake to another chick, so he tried to punk you off the phone, like, nigga, call back later. Yeah, call it back when? I don't know, just call back later. I'm on the phone right now. But you built the rapport and stuff like that. So it was a great way. It was a fantastic way to gauge what was going on in your child's life and how to build a rapport with the family unintentionally, because you're always calling and the phone ring. You know what I mean? Or sometimes, you know, you on the phone talking to a girl or vice versa, and the parents pick up the phone. Hey, I got to use the phone. Get off the phone now, you know. And then, you know, you get embarrassed because, you know, your parent got on the phone, like embarrass you on the phone. No, get off now, or whatever. Or they tell you to hang up now. Like, all right, I'm about to get off. So, you know, it's time for you to get off the phone. Like, then get off the phone. You still caking for like 3 to 5 minutes to pick back up. Hey, are you still on the phone? Get off the phone. Now you're getting embarrassed. All right, dang. Hey, man, I'm gonna call you back. All right, bye. Click. Like, you get an understanding of how the parents were, if their parents were strict, if their parents was really nice and kind and friendly, if their parents was a no nonsense parent. You understood these things. And then when you met the parent, you'd be like, you know, like, I ain't seen you before, but now that I see you, I recognize your voice. And yeah, you know how I am. When it's time to get your ass off that phone, I'm going to talk bad to my child because I need to use the phone. Or, you know, if the parent was cool and calm and collected, you understood like a character of the person. So the rapport was there, and you had to understand the family in some sort of nature. And it was, yeah, man. It was good. When you think about these things, they played a huge part in like the family structure, family order, and family relationships, and understanding things about your kids and understanding building a rapport with family. All this stuff played a good role, man. Like, you don't see that, like, you don't see it now, but when he brings that up and he says that, it really does make sense. It really did make sense. You know what I mean? Like, you understood what was going on and how things were working, and it made a world of a difference, man. It did. But let's let this dude finish up, because I'm over here going down memory lane. All right, so now he's talking about what happens when cell phones got on the scene, or people got their own line. And before I say that, things did change because people got their separate lines. Let me explain this to you. So with a landline phone, landlines used to be throughout the whole house. Okay, then a time happened, right? A time, I'm slouching. Let me sit up a little bit. Okay. So we had landline phones, right? There was a time that happened where you could have separate lines in different rooms. So now you would have, for example, you could have a phone line for a particular room. So therefore your room or whatever could have a different phone line. For example, if you had a 2-story house, your downstairs could have a phone number and your upstairs could have a phone number. Or you could have a landline phone number for the house and then a different landline phone number for a particular room in the house, maybe like a study or just a separate bedroom or something. So then when the phone rang, if you call that number, it only rang to either the upstairs line, the downstairs line, or it just rang to that particular bedroom line that you had that number linked to. So it bypassed everybody answering the same landline phone or having to get off of the phone to share the phone. So then that was kind of a way that kind of pulled people away from building rapport with family and with like family members. And it kind of kept the interaction separate, which I think is what he's going to harp on, which then in a case did start to slowly take away and then ease us into having our own individual lines, which later on became cell phones. But let's go ahead and let him finish. So here we go.
You know, it would be like a birthday present or something. Everybody wanted their own personal line, you know, when I was growing up anyway. You know, but now with the cell phones, obviously the kids, you know, the phone just, the call goes directly to the kids, you know, so the parents not involved in that aspect in getting to know who their children are, you know, who their children are communicating with or involved with or anything. The thing about technology is that we thought that it would, you know, like bring people together and make it easier for people to communicate and relate with each other. But in actuality, it actually did the opposite. The thing about Generation X is...
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, I guess he kept it short and sweet. Unlike me, I was going long. But yeah, that's true. Technology came in and did the polar opposite. We're like, oh, we'll all be interconnected and everybody could talk to everybody across the world. And that didn't work out the way we thought it would. You know what I mean? Like, thinking that you could talk to somebody, like you live in America and I could talk to somebody in Taiwan and I could see what they're doing and see what Taiwan looks like from across the seas and see what they see. Like it didn't pan out the way we thought, because then as time goes on, cultures get replaced or cultures get diminished. Because then you go to certain cultures and you could leave America and go to a different country, or like the fucking Muslim people, how like the Muslim community like starts to take over places that it goes to, and then you go to a different Muslim country, like you go to a place that the Muslims have conquered, or you go to a place that's been Americanized. You know, you go to a place that's been Americanized, and then you go there and you hear American music, and you eat American food. And it's like, why the hell did I come all the way over here just to hear the same stuff I could hear back home? It just destroys the purpose of culture and traveling. If it's gonna be the same everywhere I go, like, why did I even go? So that's a horrible thing to do, which in some places I've seen that happen with America where I've traveled to, but you know, not as bad, but I've seen it in places I've traveled to, you know. I've been to Colombia, but that was like over a decade ago. Well, no, when I went to Colombia, everything was Colombian. It's to my knowledge. I wasn't hearing much of Americanized things. Super Bowl, nobody gave a shit about, because I remember I went to Colombia that year in the Super Bowl. I think the Seahawks were in the Super Bowl that year, over 10 years ago. And nobody cared. Nobody cared. It's like, who? Football. Oh, today Super Bowl? Because I remember it was. I remember it was Super Bowl day that year, and I went over. When I had went to Colombia, we had went over to this lady's house. This girl had took me to Colombia. She had this amazing trip planned out, and when we went to Colombia, I remember that year for the Super Bowl. I had forgot it was Super Bowl Sunday. until these people brought it to my attention. Everybody spoke Spanish, so I didn't understand shit that they were talking about. I remember we went over this house. This house was by a beach. It wasn't like a super fancy house, but it was still it was a house. The beach wasn't too far. I mean, we get to this house, and it's this black woman that was there. You know, it's just, she spoke Spanish. She was a black woman, but she spoke Spanish, and she had these big ass dogs, and she had 2 or 3 sons. Right, everybody was so nice and cool and warm and loving and welcoming. There's one thing that was always prevalent, and since I couldn't speak Spanish, like I couldn't communicate with nobody. So everybody like, they were all talking, and I was like, you know, there wasn't much I could do. I just kind of be like there, you know what I mean? You know, they'll say something, and I know they talk about me because they'll say something, and everybody would look at me, and I'm like, oh shit, huh? Like, well, wait, y'all talking about me? What happened? But I remember that it was Super Bowl Sunday that day, and I remember that the dude was trying to communicate with me, and he was trying to figure out something to accommodate me and, you know, like make me feel relaxed at home, you know, just being a good house, being a good hostess for his house guests. And he mentioned the Super Bowl. I was like, Super Bowl? He's like, yeah. He was like, Super Bowl Sunday. I was like, oh, Super Bowl's on today. He's like, yeah. So he went and he found it for me. He was like, yeah, you know, there you go. I was like, thank you. So I like chilled to watch the Super Bowl for just a little bit, but you know, outside was a beach and everything. And this lady had cooked. I remember it was a black lady. She was a bigger black lady, but she was cooking. Can't remember what she cooked, but she cooked some bomb food. And for some reason, I can't get this through to me till this day. Every time we would go eat, the Colombian girl, when she was a skinny girl, but she could always eat all her food, and when I ate the food, I would get full before her. And I'm like, why are you eating more than me? I couldn't figure it out. I'm like, why are you always eating more than me? What the hell? I mean, she was skinny, and I'm like, why is it that you eat more than me? Is it the food here? What is it? That was something I will never forget. I couldn't fathom it. Every time we went somewhere to eat, and it'd be like home cooked meals or something, she could eat the whole meal, and my ass would be left full, having to take the food home and stuff like that. And I'm like, and I would try to force, like, I remember we were over at that lady's house, I would try to force myself to eat the whole plate. And she looked over at me and she was like, you know, she said, and I was like trying to still eat. And my friend looked over at me, she said, are you full? I'm like, yeah. She's like, you don't have to force yourself to eat. I was like, I don't want to be disrespectful. I'm full. The food is good, but I'm full. I was like, you didn't eat very much. I was like, I don't know why. I'm full though. I couldn't figure it out. Every time we ate food, I would just get stuffed quickly, and they just demolishing these plates, and he's like, y'all are all smaller than me. Why are y'all eating more than me? Till this day, I couldn't figure it out. I don't understand. My only synopsis I could come up with would be the difference between American food and South American food. That has to be something in the food, at least over 10 years ago, that what was in it, it had to do with, I don't know what it was, but I can't figure it out. I can't figure it out, but yeah. That's one thing I do remember though, going over there, and it was really nice and accommodating. And yeah, I don't even know why I'm talking about that. Where the hell, I don't even know where that came from. But anyway, let's continue on with the 90s. All right, so we just saw cell phones back then. Let's see what we got up here next. We got the kids. Kids gonna be talking. So here we go. Let's go ahead and talk about this. Let's see what we got here. Kids gonna talk about norms that would break kids today in 5 minutes. Let's see what we got here. Here we go.
Here are 90s things that would break kids today in 5 minutes.
To kick things off, if your mom was on the phone, forget the internet. The second someone picked it up, you were kicked off instantly.
No.
That is true. That is true. You would literally get kicked off the entire internet if anybody picked up the phone. I don't know why they keep saying moms. Like, stop supporting that single mom bullshit. But yeah, if your parent picked up the phone, yeah, you getting kicked off the internet, and you'd be like, oh, who picked up the phone? Man, I ain't know you was on the internet. I think that also happened if somebody called in. I think if somebody called, it would knock you off the internet too, if I'm not mistaken.
GPS. If you got lost, you either had a MapQuest printout or asked strangers for directions.
Oh, learning to read a map. Yes, that's one thing. If we ever have a blackout, or not a blackout, but a technology fallout, I feel sorry for the people who cannot open a map and read and figure out where to go on a map. Because that's one thing that I'm glad I understand how to do, is how to read a map. Open a map while you're in the car, while you're driving, or pull over something and read where you're going and understand, like, okay, I'm going to be on this highway. Then when I get so far, I need to switch over to this highway. And you have to like move your way to your destination through different highways. And if you got lost, which nowadays, for some reason, you know, women and talking to strangers is such this scary little thing. Nowadays, you have to, well, not nowadays, back then, if you were on a map, using a map, and you would have to matriculate your way on the map to figure out, okay, when I get off this highway, I got to get on this highway. You have to look at landmarkers to know where you're going to make sure you're going the right direction. If you got lost back then, you would have to go in a store or go find a stranger pumping gas or something and say, hey, excuse me, I'm trying to figure out how to get to highway such and such, or I'm trying to find store such and such, or I'm trying to find how to get back to such and such. Am I going in the right direction, or how do I get there? And you would have to talk to people and strangers, and they'd be like, oh yeah, no. Or, oh shit, you're way off. You got to go back that way 10 miles, keep going until you see the thing, hook a left. And when you get to Grander's Crossing, make sure you make a right. And as soon as you make a right, and it's like, you had to listen. You had to take a stranger's advice on where they were telling you to go. You know, it was the norm back then. That was normal. There was nothing wrong with being told what directions, because then if somebody asked you for directions, you understood that person was lost and they needed your help. You understood the feeling of being lost, and you don't know how far away from home they possibly were, if they were trying to get back home or if they were trying to travel to meet a family member, going somewhere else that was important. These things meant something. Nowadays, like, you go talk to somebody and people they're scared, they're nervous, they don't know what you're gonna do or say, and it's weird and it's sad. It's really sad. It's a sad world that we live in nowadays. But to understand certain things like that, like having to use a map to know how to get to where you're going, and you would have to utilize the people around you, you know, whether they were strangers or not, you would have to utilize them to make sure sometimes you would know you're going in the right direction, but you're like, man, let me make sure. Let me ask this person, hey, excuse me, I'm going here. Am I going the right direction? They'd be like, you're trying to get where? To here. Yeah, you're going the right direction. Keep going down and you make it. Okay, thank you. Cool. I just want to make sure, because I don't want to get lost. I'm like 500 miles away from home. You know, oh, where you from? I'm over here. I'm just traveling. Oh, well, be safe traveling. All that good stuff. These things made a difference, man. So that's true. Reading the map, paramount.
You couldn't watch TV anytime you wanted. You had to wait for your show to come on, and if you missed it, it was gone forever.
I don't know how he's explaining that. I would say if your TV show, yes, your TV show did have a scheduled time to come on. Your TV show did have a certain time. Your TV show came on today at, like, let's say you get out of school at 3. And you had a TV show that came on at 4. Yeah, from 4 to 4:30, that TV show was on. If you missed it, you got to wait till tomorrow to catch the next episode, unless it's Friday, and you got to wait for Monday because they don't play on the weekend. Weekends were something different. So maybe that's what he's saying is true, but I don't know. It seemed like he said it was the way he made it sound like. He made it sound like you didn't have no TV channels. Yeah, you always had TV channels, but if you missed your TV show that day and you missed it, that was it. There was no replay. And if you missed that episode, the only thing you would hope is that when you caught the next episode, they maybe gave you a recap of the last episode. If not, you just got to pick up where you left off and figure out what happened type stuff. But you couldn't replay or recap anything. So yeah, it was important about appreciating time and schedule, and you knew what you wanted to do at that time. You couldn't just be like, I'll catch the replay later and watch it when I'm doing this or that. Like it wasn't that. You had to catch it or else you missed it. There was no replay, you know what I mean, type stuff. But let's keep going.
Before Google, you had to go to the library and search encyclopedias for information. Imagine encyclopedias for information.
If you missed it, it was gone forever.
Before Google, you had to go to the library and search encyclopedias for information.
Okay, that's true. I would say writing a research paper. If you had to write a research paper in high school, writing a research paper required you to go to either your school library or a local college library or something to write that research paper. Your teacher didn't care where the information came from as long as you took your happy ass to a library, got the information, wrote your research paper, double spaced, 3 to 5 pages long, and it had to be able to withstand the presentation time of like 3 to 5 minutes. So you had to be able to not only read, but present your topic to the classroom and have your sites, your sources, your bibliographies, all that at the end of each sentence and at the end of the paper. So you couldn't just make shit up. You had to like know your topic, go to libraries, write a research paper. So you were all your focus was always on a task. You weren't multitasking, right? Writing that research paper was a task that you had to focus on. Hey, I'm going to the library to write this research paper. So you knew you had to have, you had an X amount of hours and you needed to have this much done because like you don't know when you'll have time to make it to this library again to get this done. So that time was valuable, it's precious. So yeah, there's that. So that's true.
Imagine you had to call a movie theater just to hear showtimes on a recording and hope you caught the right time.
Phones were huge, heavy, and didn't even fit in your pocket and barely had signal. Speaking of...
They wasn't that heavy. You got used to them, to be quite honest, especially when you know, the shoulder. This right here, holding that phone like this right here, this right here, this... you could do, with your hands free, you know how much stuff you could do like this. Like you master this art right here, boy. This art right here, you could cook and clean and play a game and all. This was perfect. Like this shoulder was mastered. You knew how to handle that. But let's keep going.
Phones, we had to endure using payphones. Do you realize how many people had that phone pressed against their face?
Now that's something nobody ever gave a shit about. Nobody thought about, ew, a payphone. Somebody's face was on this payphone. Do they have any wipes? Like, this is gross. Nobody thought about how many faces is on a damn payphone. You know what? Do you know what people was concerned about? Contacting who they needed to contact because they had to use that payphone to begin with. Because you put a quarter in and you had so much time to type in, to dial the number that you had memorized. This number had to be memorized and you had X amount of time to dial that number. You know what I mean? Until commercials came out and you could dial 1-800-CALLATT, call collect, make collect calls. But nobody cared about the dirtiness of a cell phone unless it was like obvious, unless you like looked at it and saw some dirty shit on it. But for the most part, like you grabbed that phone, I need to use this phone. You didn't care what was going on. You finna press that phone to get your face and talk. Hell, it might graze your lip. You didn't think, you was just like, yeah, whatever, I'm on the phone. So yeah, nobody thought about stuff like that. It was just when the future started to become female, that's when stuff like that started to matter.
Sometimes we had to watch the morning news just to find out if school was canceled. No alerts, no notification.
That's true. The news did tell you if school was canceled or not. So depending on what state you lived in, because I know in Texas, if there's a slight bit of ice on the road, and I do mean a slight, school gets canceled, you would just have to stand there and stare at the news and just be like, well, are we going to school today? You be fully dressed all the way down with your backpack, all your teeth brushed, your hair combed, everything on, and you just staring at that news and it's like, all right, looking for my ISD. Let me see. Did it come across the screen? Are we? Yes! No school today. Go back to your room, undress everything, turn the video game on, just game it out in the house. No phone calls. All you had was music in your video games or your books or whatever you did in your room, aka your sanctuary at that age. Your room was your sanctuary. No connections to the outside world. The only outside world you had was that video game or that book you read or those Lego or toys you played with. That was your whole world. That was it. Or unless you were writing, you know, a love letter to get back to the person, but that would end once you're done writing it. Or the music you listen to. Like your sanctuary is where your mind would be. Your mind would be into whatever it is that you were doing. So your mind couldn't go to the outside world. It was inside of either the world that was created on that video game, the world that was created within that book, or the world that was created in that CD that that artist put out, because you had album art that came with each CD. So the world that a musician at the time, they would create a world within a world with the CD, because when you're listening to the CD, there's nowhere else that you can really go. You know what I mean? Like you have to be in that CD and you have an idea of where that like time and headspace that artist was in. So if it was an album you was really into, whatever emotions or feeling they're conveying, you're in that world of that album. You don't get that no more. That's gone. The 90s.
Last but not least, no Amazon. You ordered from catalogs and waited 6 to 8 weeks for delivery.
So what are some
I can't really speak too much on that one. Ordering stuff for delivery. We was always used to going to the store and buying our stuff. I can't really speak on ordering things all that much. It was more used to getting things from the store or carrying back on in the car or something like that. So I don't really know much about that one. But yeah, man, that was 90s was a time, man. 90s was time. It was a time, man. I'm glad I did this episode. This one's fun. I'm having a good time with this one. Let's go to the next one. Sometime in the early 90s. So we got little kids again. We got kids telling us about the future. So here we go. Let's see what they got to say.
So you're telling me in the future, people just stare at a little box all day, inside and outside?
And in the future, you don't even own the music. You just pay every month to borrow it? Like, if you stop paying, the music just disappears?
Wait, so before people eat, they take a picture of the food and show strangers? And the strangers like and comment on it? So in the
damn, when you say it like that, it sounds so weird, but yeah, that's true.
future, everyone has their own phone and they use it to type messages instead of call? And if someone calls you without typing it first, it's considered rude? So you're...
Yeah. Yeah.
You're telling me in the future people just post their diary for everyone to see?
Ooh, that's a good one. Girls used to have diaries. I don't know if girls still do diaries now. It seemed like girls' diaries have turned to social media. Like their diaries are the social media or the dirty shit that they put inside their phones. But their phones, your phones can be hacked. Your diary was at least, where is it? Right there. At least your diary was private. You had to hide that in your room. At least as a girl, if you had a diary, you and only you, well, hopefully only you, knew where that diary was hidden in your room. You hid it, unless your parents went through your room and went through your diary, or your brother's friend went through your room and went through your diary. But yeah, that would be hidden in your room and your thoughts would be in your diary, which is probably why women may not understand why the books that they read from older generation of people, why the books were so damn good, because they had a diary. It was privacy and it was the thoughts trapped inside of a book, and they just wrote these things down with the help of no one. There was no help from anybody. That was all that person. And, you know, I'm pretty sure, well, men had diaries too. I ain't gonna just say girls, but since this is a little girl talking about a diary, oh, whoops. So that was an intro for the fitness. That was an intro fitness. I'll show you. This is the fitness intro.
Let's get ready for the fitness segment of the show.
All right. So then, just in case y'all wasn't thinking I was doing some funny shit, I want y'all to be like, what the hell was that? No, but for diaries though, since she's a girl, talking about girls with diaries, I mean, I guess men had diaries too, you know, men would, but you know, men's diaries are the way men's mind structured versus girl minds are structured. It's two different ways, but you know, it's still a diary nonetheless. People's diaries were just more focused in on their own personal thoughts on what they were doing.
Some people...
what they were thinking, I should say.
Will get paid for it. For their diary? And in the future, a little box just tells you where to go, turn by turn, and people still get lost? If you want...
And people still get lost? Yeah, that part, little fella, that part.
Food from a restaurant, you just tap the box and a stranger brings it to your door and you pay extra for that and then you rate the stranger. Our moms always say don't talk to strangers, but in the future everyone just talks to strangers all day on the little box and shows them their house and their kids.
Damn. Wow. That's actually a good point. That's a good point. Oh, that's a good one. I never thought of it like that. That's true. Can't say none of that one. Good one, kids. Good one, AI kids. Good one, AI kids.
So in the future, nobody ever just sits with the quiet, like ever? That sounds really exhausting. In the future?
When was the last time you've just laid in some green grass? Just laid down. When was the last time you seen kids with grass stains on their pants or actually on their freaking knees? When was the last time you seen this? Like literal grass. When was the last time you seen a kid with grass stains on their clothes? My son be having like dirty stains. Like he come home look like a damn construction worker. You know, maybe like dirt. Like white chalk, maybe like playing in, like, you know, stuff like that, but like grass stains. Times have changed.
It sounds really exhausting. In the future, everyone's connected to everything, and people are still lonely. Okay, but do we at least still stay outside until the streetlights come on?
They call it progress. God dang. That is a sad ending. Where's my sound for a sad ending? Right in the fifis. They call it progress. Jesus. Oh, that was brutal. Yeah, kids. Sorry, little ones. But yeah, that's true. Can we at least stay out till the street lights come on? Yeah, that's, ooh, they call it progress. It is de-evolving, just regressing, not progressing, but regressing, like going backwards. It's like you're just going into these lonely little manholes. You know what I mean? Basically, and you know what? Not even manholes. Basically, everybody is being trapped in a digital prison. That's what it happens. It's a digital prison. It's a digital prison. That's all it is. Let's continue. Let's see what this next one is. POV, you're in the late 90s. What they got? Let's see. We have no sound. Let's see. Here we go.
Wait, so you mean in the future, people don't just chat online anonymously anymore? They actually post pictures of themselves for millions of strangers to see? Wait, you mean in the future they are going to close this store down because people will be paying monthly subscriptions to stream movies on apps online?
Unfortunately, my dear, that is true. That is a unfortunate fact. That's so true. Blockbuster was a hit.
Wait, so you mean in the future, kids have their own computers? And they have access to the internet anywhere and anytime? Who monitors them?
Wait, you mean in the future?
The government.
People barely cook dinner like this? They just order food through food delivery apps?
Yeah, they're taking that art away from women. Well, women are taking that art away from themselves. And I guess you could say men too, but every dude I know knows how to cook. Every dude that I know, like, they all know how to cook. They know how to take care of themselves. Like, you know, like for me, ordering food is the last thing on my mind. I'm not like, ordering food is the last thing on the list. I'm like, why the hell am I order food and I can just cook it? Like, I mean, if it's like pizza, if I'm gonna order a pizza's like something last minute. I don't feel like cooking type stuff. But I mean, like fast food joints, like if my son wants a burger, like I'm not finna order no damn burger. I'll just make it. It's not hard. You know what I mean? And he even told me himself one day, and he was like, Dad, your burgers are really good. This burger was way better than like Whataburger. And Whataburger is his favorite. He's like, this was better than a Whataburger. And it's like, it's the same thing, you know? It's like, and the meat that you put in the patties is way bigger than the meat that Whataburger gives you. Because, you know, when you look at the hamburger patties that they give you at any fast food chain, not just Whataburger, it doesn't matter where you go. It's like these thin things. So you can at least give your child a higher protein content of the food that you're giving them, and let it be less about the bread and carbs and be more about the protein and veggies that's inside of the bun. You know what I mean? So, you know, I learned to do that on my own. I'm like, you know what? Let me just add some things. Let me try to add veggies to his food. Like, you know, I'll try to do some grilled onions and sneak them in there. I'll make him put lettuce on it, or I'll try to, you know, maybe if I put pickles, add a little tang to the flavor. He hates tomatoes, but, you know, try to add things. Try, you know, let's do a barbecue burger today. I'll try a barbecue burger with like barbecue and different flavors, like whatever they have at a store or at a fast food chain. I'll look at it and I'll just mimic it because it's a burger. The shit's easy. It's not hard to make a different variation of a burger. You know, maybe stuff like Chinese food is harder to do because I'm not, you know, that's not my culture, but it's not hard to learn. You know, you can always sit back and learn and figure out how to do it, or make some kind of idea of it. You know, make some kind of noodles or something, and then add your different kind of meats or proteins you want to add to it with veggies inside. Like, you know, you can order you can make up your own combination fried rice if you can figure out how to fry your rice and then add the different kind of vegetables and proteins in there. Like, cooking is always the first thing you go to, and the last thing on my mind is ordering out. So yeah, people are losing the art of cooking, and it's not hard to do, but it's more expensive to eat out.
And strangers drop it at the door? So wait, you're telling me that in the future they will stop using disposable cameras and use a portable phone that also takes photos instead? Will they still even print the photos?
Wait, you mean in the future, people won't burn CDs anymore? And everyone just pays a monthly fee to stream music forever?
Wait, so you mean in the future, people don't just chat online anonymously anymore? They actually post pictures of themselves for millions?
Yep, we posting pictures for millions of people to see. That's how it goes down. That is what's going on. That's crazy. Yeah, man, the times have changed. The 90s nostalgia is crazy. And, you know, I have to find me, now that I was looking at this thing, it just dawned on me. I was lucky enough, I was fortunate enough to be for my Nintendo 64 to be found through, I don't know what box it was hidden in, but my Nintendo 64 was found, and I'm on a mission to find The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. So if you have that game, or willing to either sell it or let me borrow it or whatever, please let me know, because I have to find that game and I needs that game. That's gonna be that's gonna take up quite a part of my life. So I need to find that game for sure. That game is a must find. I got to get that game. But let's keep going. All right, we got a few more left, and then we're going to wrap up this show. I'm just having a little fun today because I got to redo the stream from yesterday later on after this show. So yeah. But anyway, so we got things that only 90s kids can understand. Let's see what us 90s kids can understand. Let's see what we got.
We experienced in the 90s that kids today will never experience. 90s TV cabinet. You have to press hard on the glass door every time to open it. Do you still remember the sound it makes when it opens? Remember watching the pipe screensaver?
Wow.
At first, I even thought it was a video game.
I forgot about the pipe screensaver. No. Oh.
Having 100 of these discs scattered in random places around your house.
I can feel them and taste them.
Remember the visualizer in Windows Media?
Oh, Windows Media Player did have a visualizer. Oh my God, I remember this. Oh wow, I forgot about this. Oh, the Windows visualizer. They don't got shit no more. Man, these little things made the world of a difference. The visualizer, and it would go with the music. And they had different ones. Oh my God. Can you still get that? Let me see if I can find that still. Can you still find Windows Media Visual Player. Is that still a thing? I'm going to find out. I'm going to find that out and see if I can still get it. But that's crazy. I forgot about this.
Player.
I spent hours staring at it.
Making all electronics transparent is really cool. From staplers and phones to the Game Boy. Does this trend still exist in 2025? Burning the sickest CDs in the neighborhood.
Burning CDs, boy, and that's a big ass CD. They kind of made it too big, but yes, we get it. Burning CD. Oh, I burnt so many CDs in my day. Jesus.
A CD easily holds 15 to 18 songs.
CDs went by time. They went by hours. So it depends on how much time could go on a CD. There goes that pipe screensaver.
If you still remember these things from the 90s, tell me your birth year.
Said the 90s. These AIs. These AIs messing up, but they getting better. They doing really good, man. I give it to them. They doing a hell of a good on these AIs, but that's crazy. I forgot about the Windows Media Player. I'm looking it up right now on the internet. How can I select visualization on Windows Media Player? Do they still have it? But you can still access this feature by using Windows Media Player Legacy, where visualizations are enabled by right-clicking in the Now Playing mode. The modern media player for Windows does not support visualization. Oh, they took it away. Sad day. It's a sad day. Can I get a Windows Media Player on a Mac? That's the real question. Enable Windows Media Player. Let's see. Can I? Oh, are they gonna let me do it? Nah, they ain't gonna let you do it. Nah, too good to be true. Too freaking good to be true. Let's see. Windows Media Player on a Mac. Can you do that? That's the real question. Anyway, but let's continue. We were born in 1992. You're back in the 90s. Life before technology. Let's see how this goes down. Another AI children. Let's see what happens.
90s. No smartphones, no Wi-Fi, just bikes, walkie-talkies, and the rule to be home by dark.
We left right after breakfast, pockets full of quarters, no plans, no maps, just all-day adventures waiting everywhere.
We wasted half our quarters on Street Fighter at the gas station arcade before heading toward the railroad tracks.
Maybe not the gas station or arcade, but at the mall arcade, yeah. Stayed away from the railroad tracks. That's what we did. We ain't go to the railroad track. We stay away from that shit because anything could happen. Because once the train come, stupid thoughts were running ahead and be like, "Hey, who running back and forth across the train before it gets close to us?" I'm pretty sure the adrenaline rush, the daredevil kick in, and then the dare. I bet you won't do it. Just stupid stuff. So not that one.
Parents thought we stayed at the park. But we were building forts, climbing trees, and inventing secret club passwords together.
We built ramps out of anything, crashed 100 times, didn't care, just got back up and tried again anyway.
Okay, crashed 100 times, that is true. I will, yes, crashed 100 times is true, and get back up and keep going. That's a fact. Hell yeah. Your body was just built. You would just develop a stronger body back then because of stuff like this.
We drank water straight from the hose, sticky popsicle hands, not a single water bottle or energy drink anywhere.
Drinking water straight from the hose. That's a fact. Never thought about how dirty that water hose was, and if it was dirty, you clean it off beforehand, turn the water on, let the water shoot out for a good 30 seconds to a minute, and then drink because you were freaking, it's 95 degrees outside, you were hot and you were thirsty, and then douse your head with the water too. That was just the norm. Ain't nobody worried about no germs or getting sick.
Driveway basketball under the streetlights, next point wins, yelling louder than the cicadas, never wanting the summer night to end.
When the porch lights came on, we sat on the curb talking, pretending not to hear our names being called inside.
Oh, how the times have changed. But it is what it is at the end of the day. What we got left? How many more we got? We got one more, and then we'll wrap this show up. I'm actually, this is longer than what I anticipated. Thought this would have been a short show, but this is actually longer than what I expected. All right, we got one more thing to look at, then we're going to wrap this show up. So let's see what we got here. This one's going to show remembering how cheap food was in the 90s. Let's see how cheap food was back in the 90s. Let's gonna wrap it up. Let's see what we got here. Let me turn the sound on. Let's get it.
1995 America.
A lot of stuff.
You could get 5 big and tasty burgers from McDonald's, each costing just 99 cents. You could fill up 4 gallons of gas and still have some change left over. With $5...
Oh, she's not a 90s baby. She's all surprised. All right, let me start this over again. First things first.
A lot of stuff.
You could get 5 big and tasty burgers.
Okay, I don't know what a big and tasty burger is. I never remember the big and tasty burger at McDonald's. However, my 99-cent go-to spot was Jack in the Box, what we call Jack in the Crack. That was the munchie spot. This would probably lean over more into the early 2000s, I would say. But, you know, still get the same idea. We had something called a value menu back in the day. Back in the 90s, early 2000s, called a value menu. That means everything was 99 cents on the value menu. So, for example, I would tell you what my munchies runs were back in the day. You had, let's see, you had, when it came time for a value run or a value menu, the top places to go to for us at the time was going to be Jack in the Crack or Wendy's. Those were the 2 spots that were the best, because for Jack in the Crack, you had Jumbo Jacks was 99 cents. Yes, Jumbo Jacks. A Jumbo Jack Jr. did not exist. That was not a thing. So Jumbo Jacks were 99 cents. To 2 tacos were 99 cents. Fries 99 cents, chicken sandwich was 99 cents. A cup of water, a small cup of water was always free. A small order of fries was 99 cents. A breakfast jack was 99 cents. And Jack in the Box did breakfast 24/7. And then Wendy's, you had your junior bacon cheeseburger was 99 cents. I forget the stuff that Wendy's had. Your 5-piece nuggets was 99 cents. Yes, 5-piece nuggets, not 4. 5-piece nuggets was 99 cents. Your fries 99 cents. A Frosty was 99 cents. You had a few other things with 99 cents. McDonald's had the McDouble. They had the chicken sandwich, fries, any size drink was 99 cents, which they might still do today. They might not. Like, so you had these places, these value spots. I think even Taco Bell had a value menu. They had a value menu too, I believe, in case you were in the need for, whatever you want to call Taco Bell food. Don't call it Mexican food. But Taco Bell had a value menu. All the places had a value menu. I think the only place that didn't have a value menu from where I'm from would be Whataburger. I've never known Whataburger to have a value menu, but everywhere else had a value menu. And what we would do is you take $5, you get 4 items that were $1, and then the extra $1 that you had, that would pay the tax. So for $5, you get 4 items. For $5, you get 4 items. So you can get 2 Jumbo Jacks and 2 fries. You eat a Jumbo Jack and fries tonight. You wake up tomorrow, you have a Jumbo Jack and fries for lunch. So for $5, you had a late night munchie snack and then a burger and fries for breakfast, or a burger and fries left over for lunch. Like, yes. So I do remember value menus. That was $1.
From McDonald's, each costing just 99 cents. You could fill up 4 gallons of gas and still have...
I do remember this though. Gas was 90. The lowest I've ever seen gas in my lifetime was like 96, 95 cents. And then 99 cents was a staple for the longest, but 95, 96 cents. Then you see like 99 cents for the longest. And then it started to creep up.
Have some change left over. With $5, you could buy 4 dozen eggs and have some cash to spare. If you wanted to catch a movie, it would only cost you $4.35 back then.
Movies were never expensive. Like I said, like $5 for a movie ticket was like normal. $5, $6 for a movie ticket, that was normal.
You could enjoy a nice meal.
You only needed like 10 to 20 bucks to go to. If you had $20 to go to a movies, you were straight. $20 to go to a movies, get your ticket, and that would get you popcorn, candy, and a drink for $20. And you go get to see the movie. $20 would get you the full experience of buying a ticket, a drink, popcorn, and candy. For $20, you get the full movie experience, including the ticket.
McDonald's. Enough to really fill you up. You could buy 2 big bottles of milk, priced at just $2.78 per gallon. You could get 3 loaves of bread, enough to cover a family's breakfast needs. A pound of coffee was about $3.25.
Okay, so I can't tell you how much these things were. Bread, milk, eggs, coffee, because as a kid, I wasn't buying those things, so I can't tell you what that was.
Something people today might find hard to believe. You could buy around 80 pounds of apples or bananas. 5 2-liter bottles of soda would cost you just $5.
2 liters were $1. Yeah, 2 liters, you could find a 2-liter soda for like $1 or $2 for sure.
You could also grab 2 jars of Hershey's chocolate syrup. By you in 1995 America.
Yeah, man, the 90s was a good time. The 90s was a good time. Had fun in the 90s. I cannot say I didn't. 90s was a fun time to be in. A lot of less stressful situations to deal with. It was a whole different ordeal, a whole different time to be alive. So, man, shout out to the 90s, man. And that's going to be it for today's show. So hopefully y'all enjoyed today's show. Since it's Friday, like I said, I had to do some nostalgia for Friday, but we'll be back on maybe in about an hour or so. I'm going to run the same show I did yesterday, but I screwed it up yesterday. So got to go back and do it again today. So after this show, I'm going to get off, probably do a couple of things real quick, and then come back and then we'll run the second show for today's live stream, or for today's live stream segment. So we'll be back in a little bit. But for right now, we're done with today's live stream show. Hopefully you enjoyed the 90s nostalgia. We'll catch you later in a little bit. We'll see you here shortly. Take care. Love you later. Peace.
Thank you for watching D. Elliott Fitness live stream. Goodbye.
I'd rather be in the studio than in jail or on the street. Talking the wrong, coming off your teeth. Got that one hit to quit and knock you off your feet. It's big on, baby, I'm obsolete. Pockets chunky like cottage cheese. Real nigga, I just gotta be. Smoking weed that don't gotta see. Used to be a hustler prodigy. I love when people say they cry to me. I'm eating good, smoking broccoli. Taking over blocks like Monopoly. Only fuck the ones that's my policy. Most of these hoes tryna cause a scene. Like niggas mad they not on the team. See, I got bread, then buy the dream. The game on like, and I got the keys like Jay.